Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I am doing an eye makeup tutorial. You guys have been asking for some tutorials for especially eye makeup, but other things too, so I am going to continue to incorporate tutorials. I think it's been a whole month since I released a makeup or tutorial type of videos, and I hope you guys like today's video. So all I have on right now is my base, so it's just my eyes left to finish. And I just put the tiniest little dab of concealer as a primer because I really am minimalistic when it comes to makeup. I mean, I know compared to some, this is way not minimalistic, but I don't want excessive amounts of products sitting around in my makeup basket. And I also don't want to be using products that I don't really need. And priming your eyes is mostly to avoid creasing and oil buildup throughout a long day and to help your makeup stick throughout a long day. That's the main purpose of it. For everyday makeup, I just don't see the need to have a primer. Concealer works really well, and the one I use is linked below. Today I'm just using the Blush Crush, which this is the eye makeup that you guys have been after or wanting to see a tutorial on, so I hope you like it. So I'm starting with this color right here. This one's called Cheek to Cheek. It's just a good, perfect blush tone. Like you could literally use it as a blush if you wanted to. So I'm just starting off with that. It is a matte, no sparkle or anything like that in it. Be sure to tap off the excess, and then I'm just going to go in on the crease, but I'm going to start by going along the outer edge in a pretty straight pattern. I don't bring it down really low because that can give a droopy sort of a pattern to your makeup. So I like to keep it lifted. And I do that in part by keeping that color in more of a straight line on that outer edge. And then I just bring it into my crease here and just sweep it back and forth in the crease area and then up towards the tip of my eyebrow rather than down towards the corner of my eye. Some little circles out here to really buff out the edge. Same on the other side. Something I find really helpful is to anchor your finger with your pinky on your face. Typically that's not going to rub off a bunch of makeup or anything like that, so it's a safe bet to do. You can just push your pinky on, and it helps stabilize your hand as you're going. And I find that really helpful when I'm doing, especially my left eye. Okay, I'm just going to go in with one more layer to deepen that color a tiny bit. In the exact same pattern, in the exact same spot, and the exact same way. And then to make sure that you have no harsh edges, which for everyday makeup, that's the goal. If you're doing makeup where you're going to be photographed on stage or seen from a distance, like a performance or things like that, then you would want a little bit more definition here in these sorts of areas of where your makeup line is. But if you're doing just everyday makeup, you're primarily going to be seen by people close up and in person, then you want to diffuse and blend those sorts of areas out. You don't want a line showing exactly where your shadow colors are, with the exception of a cut crease sort of a situation, of course. And then I'm going to take a darker color. Today I'm going to use How Rouge. That's this sort of almost like plum toned, and it does have a little bit of a sparkle. Sometimes I go in with this one called Blush Wine. That's a very deep, blushy, almost plum color, but I'm going to go in with this one today because I don't want anything too dark today. But sometimes I go in with the other one. It's a little bit darker. And I'm just going to pat that here on my outer corner just a tad. I'm using an angled brush like this. Oh, by the way, I just used a basic fluffy brush for that crease. It's nothing special, just a real basic fluffy brush. That one I think was like $2. But here I'm just using an angled brush so that I can pat it on and pat it up towards my crease a tad and just really control where the color comes down. And now I'm going to do slight wiping motions, diffusing it out towards this corner here. And then I'm angling the brush up towards my brow bone just a tad to kind of give this sort of a shape that has a little bit of a corner to it. And then I'm just using really gentle pressure to come up a tad bit here to give that sort of a shape like this. So when that part is done, I'm taking a really, really tiny brush. I mean, it's like not quite as small as a pencil tip, but it's very, very small. And I am going to go in with this darkest color now to give almost like a liner, but not fully, to this outer corner edge here. Using a little bit of shadow instead of eyeliner can be a really nice way to create a softer look, especially to the lower lash line, which I particularly like for daytime looks. And then I bring it in just a tad on the upper lid area where I'm going to be putting eyeliner for like a wing basically. Now I'm going to take some shimmers. I have this Blossom Up shimmer, which has a little bit of gold in it and is the darkest shimmer. I have this one that's very peachy, that's the next lightest, and then I have this one that is very light, very pale shimmer, and this one is the Super Shock, so it's like really intense. I'm going to start with that first one, that Blossom Up, and I'm going to pat it from the center edge out towards that wing area, focusing it on the center area and then just diffusing it towards that outer area, not really like applying a ton. And I'm going to diffuse it a tiny bit inwards as well to help with the blending that's going to come next. And then I go up just a tad bit towards the crease, not really high for this one. Mostly just keeping it to the center area and then a little diffusion to the outer corner and up and a little towards the inner corner just ever so slightly. But see, I'm not going like super far in, just preparing for blending. Then I'm going in with that peachy one and I'm starting it right where the other shimmer ended and blending it in towards that center area. And then I'm going to take that really pale Super Shock to the very center corner. And it just creates this gradient that is really nice. Again, just kind of wiping it towards the other shimmer. Now I'm going to take this fluffier brush. It's a little bit bigger than that first one that I used. I'm going to take this one now that's just a little bit bigger to do my brow bone area. I'm going to use this nude color next, paired up with just a tiny bit of this one. Just mix them together. Come right underneath your eyebrow. And just be sure that everything is buffed and blended really nicely. I feel like when you can see the clear, like almost like a paint line of where makeup was applied to where the natural skin is, it just, I don't know, it looks a little bit unfinished in my opinion. So I like to just really focus on buffing and blending a lot with makeup. I diffused. Just my opinion. Next, it's time to curl my lashes. Always curl your lashes before you do eyeliner, because if you're curling your lashes the right way, then you get it all the way down to the lash line and it will rub off your eyeliner. It's best to do your curling before your eyeliner. And then I'm just going to use a mix of dark brown and black for my eyeliner today. I like using brown or gray if I'm not doing lashes and all of that. If I'm just kind of doing a basic eye makeup look. I have pretty good natural lashes. They're not too short or anything like that. And I don't mind the more natural looks. I know I say that all the time, but I wear makeup when I'm filming on YouTube, but that's not my norm every day. I'd go without makeup most days, especially in the summer, because I'm just, running the kids around to do fun stuff all summer. So why put on makeup if you're going to be like going to the pool or playground or taken jogs and stuff. And then I like to diffuse that a little bit with that teeny tiny brush again. This time I'm going to take Velvet Dress mixed with Poof in here. It's like a really dark burgundy and a really dark plum mixed together. And I'm just going right on top of my eyeliner to soften it. I don't always do this, but I really like that sort of diffused look lately. I do hold my eyelid taut when I am doing my eyeliner and stuff, but I have learned the contours of my eye, so I can do that and my eyeliner will be in the correct position. A lot of the advice out there is don't pull on your eyelid when you apply your eyeliner, and yes, that is true and that is good advice, but if you have slippy eyelids, I find it easier to get a good clean eyeliner by holding my lid taut really gently. I'm not like yanking on it, but I know that's unpopular. But honestly, for me, it just gives me a better liner quicker. And like I said, I've learned the contour of my eye and I know what shape to go in to get a good result when I release my eye. So if you have slippy eyelids or you tend to struggle with your eyeliner, try holding it taut and just practice getting the right shape down. And sometimes that might mean sitting around and practicing your eyeliner for like 10 minutes, you know, apply liner, take it off, apply it again, and practice getting the right shape. Because a good part of it is muscle memory too, but like with anything, if you practice, you can get it down. And I like using pencil eyeliners also, which are not as glidey as liquid eyeliners. So it's not as easy to just draw on slippy eyelids like mine. And then when you apply your mascara, it's best to look down. A lot of times we end up looking up when we're applying our mascara. The next thing I like to do is apply just a little bit of a shimmer. This is from Bare Minerals. It's a loose eyeshadow, so it's not super easy to work with, but it's called Bare Skin. And it's just a really beautiful, slight blush tone with a lot of shimmer. And the shimmer is pretty powerful. And I just like to take this super teeny tiny brush with a little on there and just kind of pat it on these inner corner edges just a little bit to brighten up the look overall, and just a tad on this inner corner bottom lash line. And that's pretty much it. I like keeping a fan brush to make sure I get any like fallout off from under my eyes. It just brushes things away really, really nicely. And that is it for my eyes, except for lashes, if you wish to do lashes, which I am going to do lashes. So when it comes to lashes, people really do psych themselves out. It's one of those things that until you really take some time to try it and accept the fact that you're going to need to practice a little bit, it can be very difficult. But you just have to give yourself a chance. You have to give yourself a little bit of time to practice and be patient, and then you'll get it in no time. I was able to master false lashes within a few weeks of trying it once or twice a week. So I think I probably, on like the sixth time I wore them, was like, oh, I've got this down. And I got pretty good at it after like the third time of wearing it. It just takes a wee bit of practice. And I think that sometimes because we do our makeup, we're all done up, we want to wear it, right? So then we try lashes, they end up looking like junk, and we get pissed about it because it ruins some of our eye makeup. It's time consuming, it's frustrating the first few times you try it, and it doesn't turn out good, and you feel dumb for wearing it because your lashes look crazy because they're not put on well. I get it. But if you practice at a time where you know you're not like going anywhere that day, you're not doing your makeup that day, you're just practicing lashes, and wear them around a little bit because you have to get used to the feeling of wearing them. They're getting a little spiky, as you can see. They're maybe on their last wear here. That is it for the eyes, you guys. It's a very, very simple, straightforward eye makeup look. It's really nothing special. It's just a little contouring in the crease and a little shimmer gradient across the lid for the most part, you know, and it's just about diffusing it and blending it really well. And I will continue to share a makeup tutorial or a look with you guys here and there if you enjoy this video, and if you let me know that you would like more of these sorts of videos by commenting and letting me know with that, and also by liking the video and maybe sharing it with anybody else you think might enjoy makeup videos or things like that, then I will know you guys enjoyed it and you want some more of this content. All the products that I have on today are going to be linked in the products section. This is the Blush Crush palette by ColourPop. I'm not positive that they still have this exact one in stock. Sometimes they rename them, but it's still going to be warm, blushy tones. So any palette that has these types of tones and colors is going to be what you're after. They're very warm toned, blushy colors. I like using warmer tones throughout the summers, and I tend to gravitate towards cooler toned makeup throughout the winters. I also used the Gone Matte palette. This one is just so nice. I like how it feels. It's got a cool texture to it. It's nice and weighted. So any palette that has these sort of like deep plums or deep reds, reddish browns, you know, will be great for this. But of course you can do this in any shades. So just a very basic shimmer and contour sort of an approach. So I hope you guys liked today's video. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next one. Have a happy day, everybody. Bye.